Welcome to this video. Today, I'll demonstrate an advanced method for creating an Excel add-in by designing a custom user interface for the ribbon using XML files. Previously, the add-in required manually adding buttons and tabs through Excel options on each computer. This advanced method eliminates that hassle, performing all tasks with a single click and making the add-in easily distributable. The add-in will display the customized ribbon when activated and restore the original ribbon when deactivated. By the end of this video, you'll be equipped to create custom buttons and tabs using XML. First, ensure the Developer tab is enabled in Excel options if it is not already visible on the ribbon. Next, press Alt F11 to open the VBA editor. Insert a new module and write the code as shown on the screen. Define a subroutine named ToggleGridLines, which takes one parameter, control, of type IRibbonControl. IRibbonControl is an interface used to interact with the control, such as a button, that triggered the subroutine. Since an XML file will be used to customize the ribbon, it is essential to include the IRibbonControl parameter in the subroutine. Otherwise, the subroutine will not be called. The context property refers to the active window where the button exists, toggling the visibility of grid lines in the active worksheet each time the subroutine is called. Save the workbook as an Excel add-in .xlam file in a suitable location, such as the desktop. Finally, close the Excel application. Next, open a text editor such as Notepad. I'm using Notepad++, but you can use any text editor. Start writing the XML code to customize the Excel ribbon. First, write the custom UI opening and closing tags. Inside the custom UI tag, write the ribbon tag. Inside the ribbon opening and closing tags, write the tabs tag, and then write the tab tag. Inside the tab tag, write the group tag, and then write the button tag within it. Use the label attribute to assign a name to the button. The label is what will be displayed on the ribbon when Excel shows the button. Set the XMLNS attribute of the custom UI tag as shown on the screen. Use the ID attribute to assign a unique ID to each XML tag. Do not assign an ID to the tab tag as it points to an existing built-in tab. Instead, use the IDMSO attribute to reference a built-in tab, such as Tab Home or Tab Data, by prefixing the tab name with tab. For example, to display this button on the Home tab, use Tab Home. Insert a new attribute, onAction, inside the button tag and assign it the subroutine ToggleGridLines that we created in the VBA editor. Save the XML file with a name, such as brainbellui.xml. Next, navigate to the Excel add-in file and change its extension to zip. To do this, ensure file extension is visible. If it's not, open any folder. Click View and choose Options. In the Folder Options dialog box, go to the View tab and uncheck Hide Extensions for known file types. Click OK. Now, rename the xlam file by adding .zip at the end of its file name. This will turn the xlam file into an archive file. Double-click it to open the archive and drag the brainbellui.xml file into it. This will insert a copy of our custom UI file into the xlam archive. Next, open the _rels folder inside the xlam archive and drag .rels file out to your desktop to make a copy. Open the rels file in a text editor and insert a new relationship tag. Give this tag a unique ID. In the target attribute, write the name of the XML file we just created, brainbellui.xml. In the type attribute, write the URL as shown in the video. Save the file and close the editor. Now, drag the updated rels file back into the _rels folder inside the archive, choosing Copy and Replace when Windows warns you that the file already exists. Finally, close the archive file and rename it by deleting the .zip extension. Make sure the .xlam file extension is intact and not deleted. Open the Excel application and navigate to the Developer tab to see how the changes take effect. Go to the Developer tab and click Excel Add-ins. Click Browse and select the XLAM file. Once chosen, click Open. Ensure the add-in is enabled by checking the box, and then click OK. Now, the add-in is ready for use. Navigate to the Home tab, where you'll find a newly added Brainbell group containing a button labeled ToggleGridLines. Clicking this button triggers the ToggleGridLines subroutine, which toggles the visibility of grid lines on the current sheet. To deactivate the add-in, uncheck the add-in and add-ins dialog box and click OK. Now, all customizations made by the add-in have been removed. If you've noticed that the ToggleGridLines button does not have an icon, here's how to add one. First, close the Excel application. Rename the add-in file extension from .xlam to .zip. Open the brainbellui.xml file in a text editor. Add the image MSO attribute to the button tag and assign it a suitable icon name. For example, Group Table Select. Specify the size of the icon by adding the size attribute to the button tag and assign it a large value. You can find suitable icon in the Office Add-in Icons gallery, which you can download in Word format from the Microsoft website at the address shown on the screen. After downloading the gallery document, open it and click File tab and select Image MSO from the Backstage view, browse the gallery, and note down the icon name that you want to use in the add-in. Save the XML file and drag it back into the add-in archive, overwriting it when prompted. Rename the file back to its original .xlam extension. Reopen the Excel application, activate the add-in if needed, and navigate to the Home tab. Now, the icon should be visible alongside the Toggle Grid Lines button. Next, let's create a new custom tab. Close the Excel application. Navigate to the add-in file and make it an archive file by renaming it to .zip. Open the brainbellui.xml file and insert a new tab tag within the tab section, either before or after the existing tab home tag. To insert a custom tab in Excel, add an ID attribute and assign it a unique name. Add a label attribute with the value Brainbell tab, which will appear as the name of the tab on the ribbon. Within the tab tag, add a group tag, and inside the group tag, insert a button as demonstrated earlier for the tab home tab. When creating a group and button inside an existing Excel tab, IDMSO attribute is used, and you don't need to add ID and label attributes. Similarly, when creating a custom tab, ID and label attributes are used. You don't need to add the IDMSO attribute. Save the XML file and drag it back into the add-in archive, overwriting it when prompted. Rename the file back to its original .xlam extension. Reopen the Excel application. You'll now see a new tab named Brainbell tab displayed on the ribbon. Deactivating the add-in will remove this custom tab from the ribbon, along with the Toggle Grid Lines button from the Home tab. If you want to reposition the custom tab on the ribbon, open the brainbellui.xml file in a text editor. Add the Insert After MSO attribute to the tab tag and specify the name of the built-in tab where you want the custom tab positioned, such as Tab Home. Save the XML file and drag it back into the add-in archive, overwriting it when prompted. Rename the file back to its original .xlam extension. Reopen the Excel application. You'll now see the Brainbell tab positioned after the Home tab on the ribbon. Thanks for watching. I hope you found this video helpful. Be sure to check out my previous video on creating an Excel add-in, which doesn't involve using XML and is a simpler version of this method. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.